UEFA Champions League around the corner again, and this time we'll be taking a look at the second leg games coming up in the play of round. The first leg games produced some exciting, and dramatic moments, like Juventus losing all the way in Istanbul to Galatasaray by 5-2. And one of the most shocking results actually was Inter Milan also losing to Bodo Glimt away from home. We saw Club Brugge drawing 3-3 against Atletico de Madrid. That game, had to go down to the wire. So interesting games coming up. Real Madrid also managed to defeat Jose Mourinho's Benfica. It was a stellar performance, but then they managed to get that narrow win in that one. So the second leg games actually, promises to be very, very exciting. That's why I have my guys here, and we'll be talking extensively about the games. And then I'll be taking their thoughts on which teams they think have got a bigger chance of qualifying into the round of 16 of the UEFA Champions League. My name is Josiah, and this is the Our Media channel. Don't forget to subscribe and then also share, like the content. This is the UEFA Champions League second leg games. There's a preview, and we are taking a look at the games, the interesting games. Actually, there's some cagey ones as well. The Madrid-Benfica game, a bit cagey. Anything can happen. And there were landslide wins for Galatasaray as well as Bodo Glimt. Don't forget that Bayer Leverkusen were also increased the won by 2-0 at the expense of Olympiacos. I have my gentlemen here with me. To my far left is Courage, Tiga Mauli Force, and then also Amos. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Interesting games coming up in the UEFA Champions League. Amos, let me start off with you. You spoke about the fact that Bodo Glimt Inter Milan was actually the most shocking result, recorded in this round. Now, let's just turn the tables. Inter Milan are the Giuseppe Meazza taking on Bodo Glimt. What are the chances? Do you think Bodo Glimt will sail through?
Well, they still have a chance in this particular game. I mean, for you to beat a big team at your own backyard should give you that much confidence heading away from home. I mean, for away games, when you look at the San Siro, this is one of the venues that, definitely Inter Milan fans are going to be there in their numbers. But I think Bodo Glimt should keep up. They should just play what they play the most. They can get the best results. I mean, it's not shocking they defeated Atletico Madrid at their own backyard by 2-1. And so for them to beat Inter Milan at their own backyard wouldn't be much. So I wouldn't be surprised anymore if Bodo Glimt should beat Inter Milan in this particular game. But it's just going to be a very, very tough one. I expect Bodo Glimt to be disciplined on the field, because discipline will also play a big, big role in this particular one, because definitely all of the fans are going to get into their head and in this particular one. And so Inter Milan will definitely make sure that their 12 man will play a vital role in this particular game. So, but I expect Bodo Glimt to cause an upset.
But if you're the head coach of Bodo Glimt after winning by 3-1, what's that simple thing you can tell your boys like before the game starts?
I mean, keep being you. Let's keep the attack. I mean, let's keep going to them. You shouldn't at this moment. You don't have to be playing a defensive game in this particular one. I mean, for you to be leading by 3-1, having a first leg advantage, you should be in an all-attack game. Wow. Definitely, Inter Milan are going to come at you. When you look at Inter Milan's style of play, they have 3-5-2. I mean, 3 back. They have Dimarco and the other guy on the wings, who are playing as defenders and at the same time as wingers in this particular game. And so a whole lot is going to play in this particular match. And so, but I expect Bodo Glimt to play an attacking game. A little defensive error could just destroy everything for them, and then Inter Milan could capitalize in this particular.
But who do you think is going to?
It's for now, I don't know, but that's why I said I expect Inter Milan can win this particular game. But if Bodo Glimt are able to cause an upset, they can make it through the next
Interesting. Stage. So one of your interesting statistics that actually puts Bodo Glimt in a very comfortable position is the fact that they've scored in every game they've played so far in the UEFA Champions League, barring one game. So it tells you how good they are. You said Juventus against Galatasaray was your game of the round. Why? Because Juventus have got rich history. Galatasaray, not really there. You are talking about the elites in Europe. You see Juventus overturning that 3-0 deficit.
No, it's impossible. Yes, I mean,
you don't think that's possible?
It's impossible.
2 first-half goals.
No, you see, when you are playing against a team that has goals in them, you understand? I mean, it is difficult, especially if you didn't do well in the first leg. You understand? And if Juventus were able to get 3 goals, it is not going to be surprising for Galatasaray to get a goal or 2.
Wow.
You understand? Because they've got what it takes to. If you look at comparatively, you understand? Galatasaray has got much more attacking threat than Juventus.
I think so.
Yes.
Player
for paper, Galatasaray has got much more riches in attack. Victor Osimhen,
Mario Icardi
on the bench,
Leroy Sané,
Gundogan.
Gundogan.
Do you understand?
Gabriel Sara, Noah Lang.
These are players who have played. NSC has gone. He's gone to what's the name? Saudi Arabia. No, he's gone to Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
You see, these are players who have seen it all. Champions League finals, World Cup finals.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And they have proven it on the day that they've got better quality compared to Juventus in the attacking department. So the only thing that is going to make it practically impossible for Galatasaray to not qualify is if there is a cataclysmic, implosion. Do you understand? And see, it is very difficult for such things to happen. That you have so much. And it is not going to be surprising for it to happen because we have seen it happen.
So many times.
Many times, you understand? Because you can talk about what's the name? Liverpool, Barcelona. You can talk about
Barcelona PSG.
You can talk about Napoli, Chelsea. You can talk about AC Milan, Deportivo La Corona.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be surprising for it to happen. It just adds to the riches of the Champions League. You understand? So, but I am very confident and convinced that per the showing of Galatasaray in the first leg, it's going to be difficult for them to not qualify.
Interesting. You think Galatasaray can qualify ahead of
100%. Juventus have no business in the Champions League at this particular stage if they are not able to at least play a draw against Galatasaray far away in Turkey. No, they don't have the quality. They lack personnel. The only player I consider in this Juventus team is Yildiz, one of the best players, one of the best under 21s in the world football currently. But then aside Yildiz, I don't see where they can really post threats. Player for player, as first mentioned, right? I don't see on paper. I don't feel
has got so much quality more than.
Look at their bench. A team is as good as we proclaim if they have very, very strong bench. If your bench is that rich, you have Mario Icardi. In history, one of the best strikers in the past decade. His history is dated back from Inter Milan to PSG to the Turkish league where he is currently. And then also you look at a player like Leroy Sané from Bayern Munich straight to the bench. And then you got a player like Ike Gundogan from Manchester City straight to the bench. They have a lot of quality in there. And then they have Osimhen. And then look at their paycheck as compared to Juventus. Charlie,
that is the funny thing because if you compare
the wage bill, if you compare the wage bill of Galatasaray is far higher.
Yes,
than Juventus.
Are you kidding me?
No,
definitely.
It is. You see, it is a wave of change that is happening. Do you understand? You see, Galatasaray has realized that if they want to do well in Europe, they have to go for the creme de la creme. You understand? And for them to have been able to go in for Victor Osimhen in the first place should tell you their ambition, their mission, and their vision. You understand? Because on a normal day, after leaving Napoli, he should have gone to probably City, Liverpool, Chelsea. Because he was practically the best striker in the Serie A for more than 3 seasons consecutively. You understand? So for Galatasaray to go into the mix and be able to convince him in the first place to come, and then also to convince Leroy Sané to move from Bayern, to also convince Gundogan to move from Man City, should tell you that the ambition is very huge. You understand? It is not surprising for me for them to be doing well and for them to make a statement.
Let's make this factual that all these players you mentioned are Manuel's the Nigerian striker. The rest are all bench players. But then if supposing they were in the other team, Juventus, they will slot into the
regular.
So I was saying based on the quality, is a better team than Juventus.
I was very shocked. I was very shocked if Juventus are able to pull a draw in the return leg encounter in the Turin in their own backyard, if they're able to even manage a draw against Galatasaray in the second round.
Wow, interesting.
I mean, now this is not the Juventus that we used to.
Yes.
I mean, back then Juventus they are known as the old ladies.
They are not even challenging in their domestic league.
Back then, look at the Bonucci. I mean,
Carlos Tevez.
30 years, 40 years, but now they have young players who are not trying.
It is not them alone.
I mean,
it's something that has got to do with the Italian.
Something that has got to do with
Let's move on. Let's look at the cage games. There are still some cage games in there. Benfica against Real Madrid.
It is not a cage game.
It's a cage game based on.
I don't really.
I think the last two. Let me take your thoughts on the last two games has given us a lot of indication. The previous games, we saw a 4-2 win for Benfica. Then in the last game, it was a 1-0 win for Real Madrid. Like they had to dig deep. You think the return leg will be easier for them?
Well, it may be easier for Real Madrid, especially with the fact that they are playing at the Bernabeu.
No, I don't like your statement.
Yes,
you said that will or not.
No, I said it may.
No, don't use me.
The fact, yes, it may be. Yes, it's at the Bernabeu. It may, depending.
Is it going to be difficult for them?
For Real Madrid,
is it going to be difficult for them?
No, it's not going to be difficult.
I don't see.
If you watch the first game critically, please, if you watch the first game critically, bar the first 10 minutes where Benfica were in the game, the latter half of the first half till the 90th minute, Benfica did absolutely nothing. It was the profligacy of the Madrid forwards that made the score 1-0. Do you understand? When Madrid turned on the afterburners, Benfica were lost. I get to the point, and at the Bernabeu, it's going to be difficult, practically impossible for them to come into the. Look, please. You see, when they beat Madrid by 4-2, I understood the setting because they were energized. They needed that last goal. And every single team would have had that momentum
to the next stage. And
every team would have had that momentum. And the game that they played against Real Madrid in the group stages, that was not. It wasn't even 25% of the game they played against them in the knockout stage. You understand? So it tells you that the momentum and the fervence with which they played the game against Madrid was not what they did yesterday.
Interesting.
So that should even tell you that going to the Bernabeu
will be difficult.
It's going to be very difficult.
I think Courage and Force and Amos are on the same page. But what do you think would be Jose Mourinho's impact in this one?
Unfortunately for Jose Mourinho, he won't get a period to be in the dugout. He received a red card. Yeah, so the reason why
definitely that should
the reason why I'm saying we have very difficult game for Real Madrid is Real Madrid. Jose Mourinho, as we know, is a very I don't know which word to use that. Let me say drama king. Imagine Jose Mourinho.
So you remember the group stage game against Benfica? You saw how he praised Arbeloa that he was one of the players that he wasn't really playing, but he was one player he respected. I mean, when it comes to mind games, Jose Mourinho is very.
So this time around, he will not be around.
Yes, this time around.
And then Jose Mourinho is also eyeing the Real Madrid job. I don't lie to you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
so
then
impress.
And then the assistant coach with how do you call it, Benfica, also wants to be the permanent head coach of the same team, the same Benfica team. So he wants to prove a point that
in the absence of
Mourinho doesn't have to prove anything.
I mean, for Mourinho,
if Florentino Perez takes a phone today and calls Mourinho,
but Mourinho has been in a declining state for the past years.
No.
It doesn't matter.
I disagree with that.
Even if it doesn't really matter.
Carlo Ancelotti went to Napoli. Was shambolic, went to Everton, was utterly poor. It took Florentino Perez to just take a phone and call him. I want you at Real Madrid. What happened?
And he moved.
The rest was history. 2 Champions Leagues. So it tells you that when you have top-notch coaches, yes, they have a blip. It's normal. Players do have a blip. Do you understand? For Mourinho to even go a bit down, go to AS Roma and then did what he did with AS Roma. Go to Fenerbahce, and then pick them up again because
he didn't pick them up.
No, he picked them up because when you look at a gap between Fenerbahce,
significant
when you look at a gap between Fenerbahce and Galatasaray prior to the arrival of Mourinho, it was huge.
Very
He only wanted to cause controversies.
You are not getting the point. You see, the controversies were necessary because the referees
And then he was complaining every week after week. Yes. Let's say Mourinho was complaining every week out.
We're still looking at the KG. One of the most, or the KGS games we saw was that 3-3, at Club Brugge, Atletico de Madrid. There's a side that, for some time now, they're not really performing well in the Spanish La Liga. But Kai, do you also think that 3-3 draw, there's still a chance for them to advance?
I don't think so. On the day, Club Brugge were excellent. The only thing that they couldn't get right was to score more goals. But then we watched the game, look at the tactical prowess, and then how they were positioned on the pitch, how they were able to possess the ball, how they were able to match the Atletico Madrid players boot for boot without fear. They were taking the ball to them. I think it was some bit of individual errors that caused them that 3 goals. But then, with the attacking prowess of Atletico Madrid, you have a player like Antoine Griezmann on the pitch. You have a player like
Lukman.
Ademola Lukman, he scored. Then Julian Alvarez. These 3 players are world-class players according to current football standards. You cannot. Do you want to disagree?
No. How do you expect that small mistakes will not cost you at the highest level? No, you see, at the highest level.
Let me land. Let me make my point first.
You are saying that small mistakes cost them, and I'm saying that at the highest level, little mistakes or fine margins are very critical.
The same little mistakes led Atletico Madrid to also concede 3 goals.
Yes, but now they are going to Wanda Metropolitano, right? Club Brugge needed to do whatever they had to do at their home. Now, you see, okay, you continue, don't worry.
I know I've watched Club Brugge for quite some seasons now. They went all the way from Belgium to England to beat Manchester City just last season, 3-1. I saw how hungry they were. I saw how I think they were possessed. See, sometimes in football, playing in front of your fans is even more difficult than playing away. Chelsea FC players made mention of this last season. They were like, we are in Stamford Bridge. The pressure on us is more than what we were.
It's the same circumstance for the Brugge.
You can't compare Chelsea to Club Brugge. I mean, definitely you can't compare Chelsea to Club Brugge.
Let me finish my point. So me,
you're wasting time.
No. So what I'm saying is, Club Brugge in front of their fans, they had a bit of pressure on them. But then going to the Wanda Metropolitano, where they are going to play with a bit of stress-free. Let's see what we can do. Where the expectations are low, that's where they'll cause more problems to Atletico, because Atletico, it's bound on them to win. Everyone expects them to win. But then Club Brugge, no pressure. So they will take advantage of the less pressure and then to come out with positive results.
Now let's look at the games that actually ended, in favor of the favorites. PSG, Monaco, would all agree that Amos, that should be a PSG win.
It definitely should be a PSG win.
First, 6-1, Newcastle, trashing Karabakh. It should definitely be.
Even Newcastle, they should just come and sign me for me to go and strike for them. and they will tell them. I won't run.
We've not really spoken about Borussia Dortmund first. 2-0 against Atlanta. They will be going to Gateway Stadium in the next couple of days. Should that one be game over?
It is game over. You understand? You see, one funny thing about this Dortmund side is the fact that they've got a proper striker that has got under the radar. You see, I was on a sister station and I was saying that if you take Hurricane off the scene, the next best striker in the Bundesliga is Jurassic. You understand? And the fact that big clubs are not hovering over him is a problem to me.
It has to do with the system in Dortmund.
But he was doing it before he moved.
Before he moved to Dortmund, I thought I was going to move to either Liverpool.
I think it has to do with his age. Let's be fair. He's an African.
The age. But no. You are profiling him.
I'm not profiling him.
You are profiling him.
No, it's
why are you saying he's an African?
Please, you are profiling him. No.
Let's be fair. How many top teams in Europe will ban African who's close to 30?
I am saying that you are profiling him. Let's see. Hurricane moved to Dortmund. Hurricane moved to Bayern.
Hurricane is an English.
When he was 30,
saw an English team go pay a huge sum. Bayern Munich paid 100 million euros for a kid at that age. How many Premier League or even top teams in Europe will do that?
How many top strikers have we had?
No, that's what I'm asking. It's a simple question.
No,
I'm asking.
how many top strikers?
Cristiano Ronaldo was
How many top strikers?
Of his career.
How many top
Look at the
strikers?
money Juventus paid.
I'm asking you.
It's
I'm asking you. See, let's base it on the. Let's base it on the same premise. How many top strikers have we had from Africa that were on the same level as Harry Kane and Cristiano Ronaldo, nearing 30 years in the last decade?
Samuel Eto'o, how much did he move to Inter Milan? Let's not talk about that.
Samuel Eto'o was smart.
And he went money. They added more money. He was even at that point a better player than Ibrahimovic. Let's not talk about that. You have no.
No. See, the dynamics are different. The dynamics are different.
But at this moment, for me, I feel that Borussia Dortmund, when you look at their system, I mean, they do have a good system when it comes to the German Bundesliga. But my big problem has to do with that is the kind of spirit they have whenever they are playing big games. I mean, when the day that you expect them, the day that you expect them to pick up maximum points, they drop points, and the day you expect them to drop points, they pick up points. I mean, when you look at Sergio Guirassy at this moment, he's a top class player. But I mean, for Borussia Dortmund, you don't really see them grinding the results. I mean, just look at the finals they played against Real Madrid in the last Champions League. I mean, at that moment, fine, people had a momentum that Madrid were going to win. Dortmund had all the chances to win that game, finish it, and then what happened?
Dortmund.
The problem has to do with the team. Dortmund is the team.
Okay, so
Dortmund is the problem, not Sergio Guirassy.
Bayer Leverkusen, they should sail too, I guess. And Jen also spoken about Inter Milan. So these are practically the games. Right? We expect Bayer Leverkusen to go through.
Definitely. I expect
Bayer Leverkusen to go through after
they haven't really had a good season, but I expect them to go through. Unless Kai,
you think they can?
Yes, Grimaldo and co. They are doing well. I think, yeah.
Coming at the back of a 2-0 away win.
Yes. Actually, yes, because you have 2 goals margin. What else are you waiting for?
You are going home. So.
Yes, even a draw qualifies, or even a 1-goal deficit in the return encounter is up to you. So.
But how many of us believe Juventus can qualify?
No. Juventus. I still doubt Juventus. I mean, that's why I said if we had if Juventus were playing in their old prime, I mean, the Juventus used to do during the Kojas and West. That would have been a different story. Right? I mean, at this moment, they don't even.
Alright, so preview to the second leg games in the playoff round of the UEFA Champions League. And you've heard from my able panelists, and they've called a shot, and I think you need to go with that because these guys really know the game. Juventus.
We don't know anything.
Why are you here if you don't know anything? Juventus aren't qualifying, but then Inter Milan, perhaps they have a slim chance. But then there are teams that also won comfortably. You talk about Newcastle United, 6-1 win against Karabakh. And that means that they could also make it to the next round. Mind you, that England have got 6 representatives in the UEFA Champions League. 5 qualified automatically. The one left is Newcastle, and they are still really, hoisting the flag of England.
They are trashing teams.
The trashing teams, and they are playing very, very well. This is where we ended. But then let's also hear from you in the comment section about the teams you believe can also make it through to the round of 16 stage. And later on, we're here to also break that down for you, especially after the round of the playoff round is done. Thanks so much to these gentlemen. Like, subscribe, and share the content.